My first question is how old were Rachel and Hal when they were diagnosed with autism?
Okay, Rachel was 2 years old, but um, really, um, Rachel was born in September, and her mother was a teacher at that time. And anyway, she had to be back in school around November, about the middle of November. And my mom's a nurse. She's an RN, a retired RN. And she decided that she would keep Rachel for us since she was so young, when we didn't have to put her in daycare until Marianne's contract ran out in May. And it was, I guess it was really, just about a couple weeks after that, or my mom noticed there was something wrong with Rachel. And so, I guess around the 1st of December, she called my brother, that's the pediatrician in Columbia, and said, John, when you come home for Christmas, I want you to look at Rachel and see what you think. I think there's something wrong. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want to see what you come up with. So long story short, when he came home for Christmas, they didn't tell me, but they talked about it, and John saw the same thing Mama saw. He thought that she was deaf. So after the holidays, they sat down with me, and they told me that they hoped that they were wrong, but they felt like there was something wrong with Rachel. And I said, well, what's wrong? And they said, well, we don't know. We think she's deaf. So I told them, I said, well, I know she's not deaf because when I rock her to sleep at night, when I put her in her crib, and I'd always shut the door and leave a crack in it about 6 inches wide until I went to bed to where I wouldn't wake her up. Whenever I would move that door, the carpet up under the door, when it made the noise where it would drag over the carpet, she'd lift her head up and she looked out. So I was certain she wasn't deaf. So we went ahead and we went through all the process with Rachel as far as having her check for her hearing, her sight, all those things. And finally, when she was, before she was 2 years old, we got an appointment with Dr. Worry, the developmental pediatrician in Columbia. And they had a group called a care group that watched her, and they diagnosed her as being having autism. Now, Hal, we felt there was something not exactly right with him, but John told me, my brother told me, that from what he saw of Hal, that, even if he was autistic, that he was in better shape than Rachel was at that age. And we really, went ahead with everything as far as baby net. I think from 2 to 3 years old, they'll come in the home and check the children and work with the children. We went ahead and got everything started, and we, had baby net, and then whenever he became 3 years old, he started going to school just like Rachel did. And we started the same therapy and everything with him, but his mom just really didn't want him diagnosed. She said she just really couldn't bear the thoughts of having another autistic child. So long story short, it was really about 4 years old before Hal was actually diagnosed. But we had him on the same programs and everything Rachel did, up until they diagnosed him,
Okay. How has having two autistic children changed your life the most?
you know, I went to school in engineering, and I've always been interested in, um, you know, designing things or the way things work or repairing, you know, equipment and things like that. But really, after having two autistic children, it really makes me wish that, you know, that I was at an age where I could go back to school and do something in, you know, like to become a doctor or to be able to do something to help them and other children, maybe some type of research doctor or something like that. I mean, it's really given me even more of a desire to take care of them and to really care for and help other people.